Kadosh Boker Tov. We're going to continue with Daf Kuf Kafchet, 128a1. This is Mamash 128, the first words on the line, Avallo et Tevel. It's the beginning. So we already brought down that you're not allowed to be Mifaneh the Tevel, which means you're not allowed to come and to start emptying out the Tevel, something which is untied. So ask the Gemara, Pshita, obviously if it's untied, which means you didn't take off any Trumot or Masrot, so it's Muktzeh. So answers the Gemara, Lo tzricha betevel tavu midrabanan. It's a tivua that is only considered tevel midrabanan, but not in the Torah. What is that? Shezerol b'atzitz she'eino nakuv. You've planted it in an atzitz she'eino nakuv, which means in one of these like type of utensils which does not have holes. So therefore, it's not getting the nourishment from the ground. So therefore, even though it's getting in like one of these flower pots, but since there's no holes, so it's not actually getting any benefit from the nourishment from the ground. So it's only midrabanan. The next two dots says, Velo maaser rishon. Neither are we talking about maaser rishon, which was not taking off the truma. So it says pshita, obviously. So lo tzricha, what are we talking about? Shikdimo bakri. What does it mean shikdimo bakri? It says over here, right? Shikdimo bakri. Pshita, what does it mean? Shikdimo bakri, which means you took it off when it was still in the pile. Shenitar mimenu maaser, that you took off maaser, but you didn't take off truma gdola. Remember, the first thing that you always take off is Truma Gdola, which goes to the Kohen, which is a 50th. And then afterwards, you take off Maaser, which is a 10th to the Levi. Maudatim, I would have thought to say, Kida Amar Le Rav Papa L'Abaye, just like Rav Papa said to Abaye above, which is that if you're going to become Patur from Maaser Rishon from Truma Gdola, you should be Patur, right? Because if it was even after the setting up from the pile, just like he taught Abaye, that he said you separated the maaser after you've already made the pile. Okay? Velo et maaser sheni. We're not talking about maaser sheni v'ekdesh that was not redeemed. So it says the Pshita, obviously you can't use it. So he says, no, lo tzricha denivdu velo nivdu kachtan. You did redeem it, but you didn't redeem it according to the halacha. Right? Or maaser shebedol gabi simon. Right? Or for example, what is the example? That you had maaser, that you redeemed it on a matbea, on a coin which does not have a form. Right? Rahman Amar, the pasuk says, "V'tzarta kesef yadecha." V'tzarta means it has to have a form in the money that you're doing it. V'yesh bo tzura. Hekdesh shechillo al gabe karka. Or, for example, also hekdesh, where you deconsecrated it on land instead of on something which is metaltal. Rahman Amar, the pasuk says, "V'natan kesef v'kamlo." You have to give the money and then it will stay for you. Okay? V'lo taluf, and not for the beans which are raw. Okay, so says the Gemara, Tana Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita, you're allowed to take a certain type of a grass, because it is a food for a tzvi, for a deer. Or mustard, because it's machal for yonim. Right? Rabban Shimon Gamliel says, Af metaltalin shivre zechuchit. You're also allowed to be metaltel shivre zechuchit, because it's going to be food for the ye'enim. I don't know how you translate the ye'enim in English, but a ya'ana. This is the one that it eats glass. But I don't know how you translate the bird. Anything there written down? What's bata ya'ana? Namiot.
Ostriches.
Ostrich. Okay. So an ostrich. So Amar le Rabbi Natan says Rabbi Natan, and we're going to ask a question now. Chavile zimerot yitaltulu. He says, 1 second. Also, chavile zimerot, which is basically the zimorot branches, you should be able to start carrying it on Shabbat because it's fitting for a pil, for an elephant, right? And we know that it's muktzeh. That means if you're going to tell me that as long as there's an animal that could always consume this food or this type of whatever it is, it's not muktzeh. So also these branches. So it says the Gemara, no, ostriches are common. An elephant is not common. Obviously, we're talking about around human beings. Meaning, if you're going to go to the, like one of these places, you'll find an elephant, but it's not going to be all over the place. An ostrich is much more common, right? And nowadays, all these things are not common because since we live in cities, it's not like you live in farms or all these places. So for a lot of these things are not common. So Amar Abaye says, as long as you do have an ostrich. So Amar Ravashi Lamimar says Ravashi, right, to Amimar, Ela de Kamale Rabbi Natan Mishum El Chavilez V'Nodital Neshuma Chalapilin. V'itle pilina milo. So once again, if a person has an elephant, why would it be prohibited? Ela, but rather it's ra'ui. It is something which is normal for him to come and to have elephants. Hachanami, so to here, it's normal for him to have namiot, the ostriches, but it's only that's fitting, not that he actually does have an ostrich. Okay? Amar Abaye says, Rabban Shimon ben Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon ben Rabbi Kiva, Kulu Silu, they all hold, Kol Yisrael b'nei melachim hem. All b'nei Yisrael are considered b'nei melachim. Okay, and therefore we're always going to be nohega minhagav ashirim, of rich people, because we're all like princes. So Rabban Shimon ben Yehuda has hadamar, which we just said right now, which a person is allowed to be metaltel, the luv, shivre zechuchit, and all these things, because it's fitting to have, whether it's ravens or ostriches or things like that. Now, even though you don't do it, but we're like kings. So a king probably might grow them or have them, these type of animals. So we're also b'nei melachim. Rabbi Shimon himself, the time was learned in the Mishnah, a stam adam is not allowed to come and put on oil on Shabbat. Right? Why? Because it's very, very expensive. And therefore it's only like for the fuah. However, though, we are stam melachim, b'nei melachim sachin, princesses do use it. Agabim HaKotehen on their different types of wounds or things like that on Shabbat, on like whenever it is, so in the weekday. Right? It's normal for them to do it on weekday. So therefore, since we are considered like a prince, we're allowed to use this oil also. Rabbi Shimon Omer, we're all considered b'nei melachim. Rabbi Shimon ben Rabbi Kiva, the Tanya was learned in the Braita, Hayishayu noshin bo 1,000 maneh. Elavuch itztela. But imagine right now you borrowed $1,000 and you're wearing a clothing which is worth $100. So they take it off of him and they put him in something which is fitting for him. It's not true. Which means imagine right now you've got a suit which is worth a few, very, very expensive. Now you owe a lot of money and you can't pay it back. So what, according to the first shita, what are you supposed to do? We take it off of him, we put him something which is fitting for his stature, and then he has to pay back that money, whatever he had. He has to pay it back. Why? It's not fitting for him. Says Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Ishmael, no. Every Jew is like a Ben Melech, is like a prince, and therefore they're fitting for that clothing. So you can't take it off of him and now put him on a different clothing and tell him, listen, pay back. No, we're all Bnei Melechim, we're all princes. Okay? So I think it's very, very important. By the way, also for Musar, it's important for us to know this. Because at the end of the day, the Musar is also teaching us this. Okay? That we are considered like a prince. We are a much hierarchy. We're not just stam, whoever it is. Fine. Chavile kash v'chavile etzim. Ten Ramadan, we learned in a Braita. Okay, the next two dots. Chavile kash v'chavile etzim, where they were talking about piles of straw or wood, but soft pieces of wood. Chavile zeradim. If it's going to be fitting for the animals, you're allowed to move it. And if not, you're not going to move them. Rabban Shimon says, when we're talking about things which are taken in one hand, you're allowed to come and you're allowed to be mitaltel. Okay? If it's going to be two hands, you're not allowed to come and be mitaltel. Okay? So now it says, Ezov and Koranit. When we're talking about different bundles of Siya, Ezov, and Koranit, which is basically like Hisep and other types of like herbs, if you put them in order to use as firewood, you're not allowed to use it on Shabbat. If you put it for animals' food, you're allowed to. You're allowed to clip it and eat. Okay, but you're not allowed to use a utensil for it. And you're allowed to come and to eat it by crushing it. You're not allowed to do it with a utensil. These are words of Yehuda. Chachamim will say, you're allowed to go like this, and you're allowed to eat it. As long as you're not allowed to do a lot of them, just like you do during the weekday. This is molel b'lashetz ve'otav. You do like this on the different parts of the food, and then you're allowed to eat it. Okay? Fine. V'chen be'imra, ba'amita, the same halacha would apply to amita, v'chen be'pegam, v'chen b'sham minei tavlin, or other types of tavlinim. So we're going to ask, what is all these things? My amita, ninya. Ninya is like the menta. Yeah, even until today they say it, no? How do they call menta? They call it nana.
Mint.
Mint.
Nanach.
They call nana. So
Nanach.
here it translates as nina. Instead of nana, nina. Okay, so the nina is, or the nana is the mint. Menta. Sia, what is sia? Amar Rav Yehuda sitre. I don't know what this is.
Good translation.
Yeah. It could be also another type of a mint, or poliel, or shadria. I don't know, different names. Okay. Ezov.
Aromatic herb.
Aromatic herbs. Okay. Ezov, what is ezov? Avrata. Hyssop. Hyssop. Okay. Koranit. What is Koranit? Koranit Hashema. That's its name. The name is like that. So 1 second, but how could it be? I thought that somebody wanted to buy Koranita and they found that it was chashi. So it's not the same thing. Shadriya Bilaz, I don't know what this is. Okay. Maybe it could be oregano or tumo. Okay. So Ela Sias Sitre, Ezov is Avrat, and Koranit is chashe. Okay, fine. Itmar, it was stated. Basar Maliach, salted meat. Mutal tetelo b'Shabbat, you're allowed to be metaltel on Shabbat. Basar tafel, raw meat that was never actually salted at all. Rav Huna says you're allowed to be metaltel. It's not mukse, right? Mutal taltel. And Rav Chasta says you're not allowed to be metaltel because it's mukse. Because basically, since you never salted it, how are you going to eat it? Rav Huna amar mutal taltel. Why? Rav Huna tamid Rav. He says one thing, he was a student of Rav. The Rav holds like Rav Yehuda, that he says that there is a problem of mukse. So says the Gemara, "B'mukse la'achila sev like Rav Yehuda." He held like Rav Yehuda to do with mukse for food, that there's no mukse. But mukse to tell to do with mukse for tiltul, for caring, he holds like Rav Shimon, that there's not a problem of mukse. Rav Chasta says you're not allowed to carry it. Rav Yitzhak Rami likah Rav Chasta. Yitzhak Rami came to the house of Rav Chasta. V'chazahu baravza. He found that there was a baravaz that was slaughtered, but it wasn't salted. That he was taking it from the shemesh to the shade, taking from the sun to the shade in order that it doesn't get ruined. It says what? It's ifsen mamon. Losing, you're going to lose all of our money because if not, the meat will go bad. So answers the Gemara, Shani bar avza dechaz lumsa. Bar avza is different. There's an avaz like a geese or a goose. You can eat it raw without salting it at all. Okay, and then there's no problem. Okay, and so that's why it's not mukse. Which means that certain types of meats, you could even eat it. Mamash, you slaughter, you wash off the blood, and then you would be able to eat it like that. And there's no problem. We went to the Braita. Dag maliach mutal taltelo. Salted fish, you're also allowed to be metaltelizeh. Dag tafel, but a fish that was never salted, you're not allowed to be metaltelizeh. Why? Because nobody could eat it that way. Basar, ben tafel, ben maliach mutal taltelo, you are allowed to come and take meat, whether it's salted or never salted, you're allowed to be metaltelizeh. Okay? Because again, blood, you're not allowed to eat blood if it's separated. But if the blood is absorbed in the meat and they never actually salted it, so you're allowed to eat that blood. But it never was cooked, so it never went from one place to another. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in a Braita, metaltelin ta'atzamot mneshu ma'achal leklavim. You're allowed to be metaltel atzamot, bones, because it's ma'achal leklavim. It's food for klavim, for dogs. Basar tafuach, kuf kavchet amubet, 128b. Basar tafuach, which is meat, which is also already bad, rotten, is give it to wild animals. My megulim, revealed waters, because it's fitting for a cat. Remember, a cat, we already learned, does not get affected by this poison of the snake. Therefore, even if the snake did put water in my megulim, you're allowed to give it to a cat. The Ban Shimon says, the entire concept of my megulim is a sur because of sakana. Says the Mishnah, you're allowed to put a sal, right? It's this picture. You're allowed to put the sal, the basket, right? You're allowed to put it upside down in order that the frochim could come up to its house. Okay? Could go up and down. It's using it like as a step. When you have a tarnagola that ran away, right? So you're allowed to push it. You're allowed to push it until it goes back inside of the place where it's supposed to go. And you're allowed to come and help with the walking of these agalim usyachin. These are like the children of the chamonim, of the donkeys. Okay? A woman's allowed to also help her child or baby in the Reshut Rabim. Rav Yehuda says, when is this? When he picks up one foot and he puts down the other foot. When but if he's like dragging him, then it's a sur. Because that means that she's actually carrying him, not that he's actually picking up his feet. Okay? So says the Gemara, Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav. When you have an animal that fell inside of water and it can't get up out of the water, right? So it falls inside of this type of like a shallow river type of thing, but it can't get out. So you're allowed to put pillows and things like that underneath it, and by putting it underneath it, right, it's allowed to, you could get it out of there. Now, if it got out, it got out. Meitve, we ask a question, you're supposed to just give it food in its place to eat. You're not supposed to take it out. Right? So it shouldn't die. You can only put the food there, but you can't start putting pillows and things underneath it in order that it could be higher up and then get out. So it says the Gemara, a question. One of them you're able to do it, to bring parnasa. That one you're not able to give it parnasa. Because basically it would die anyway. Okay, if if not, you bring pillows and things that you put underneath it, and then that will hopefully bring it up, and you could actually do that. So ask the Gemara, you're annulling a utensil from its proper use. That you're mevatel kli mechano, from that which was designated for. If you now put this karim ksatot in the water, you're not going to use it anymore now on Shabbat. So answers the Gemara, savra mevatel kli mechano is the Rabbanan, and tzaba lechayim is doraita. You're making the animal suffer is doraita. So for the doraita is going to come and push off the Rabbanan of the muktzeh of mevatel kli mechano. Okay? So says the Gemara, Tarnegolet shebarcha. We're talking about a tarnegolet that ran away. So dochin in, you're allowed to push it. Medadin, no, but you're not allowed to help it to grab onto its wings, and then it's like, helping it, like you're carrying it. So tanila had the tan rabbanan. So we learned this in that which the rabbis taught. You're allowed to carry this, you're allowed to push this, but not the tarnegolet. Why? Tarnegolet maitamelo. Rabbi says, Mishun de mekapya nafsha, because it picks itself up from the ground. Meaning when a person holds on to one of its wings, it automatically picks itself up. So therefore, you're actually carrying it, and you're not just helping it walk. Tani Yichada, we learned also in a Braita, but a woman could do this in the Reshut Rabim for a child. Tani Yidach, we learned in another Braita, you could push it in order to go in. So it says the Gemara, Gufa Kashya. Amarta, you just said enokrin, which means that you're not allowed to be oker, which is to bring up its feet from the ground. You're allowed to move it. Then you said dochin, yes, but no, you can only push it, but you can't pick up its legs. So Amarabaya says, Seifa atan tarnegolet. It was talking about the tarnegolet. And that's why it was prohibited, because again, the second that you touch it, it's going to pick up its legs. Amarabaya says, Haiman de shachri tarnegolet, somebody that's going to shech the tarnegolet, to slaughter tarnegolet. You have to put its legs on the ground. Inami nida lehu medal, where you're going to pick it up, right? Then what's going to happen is it's going to put its simanim inside, and then it's going to take out the simanim, the kind of vesha before you do the shechita, and then it's going to be a disqualified shechita. Okay? Fine. Next Mishnah. Kukav chet amubet. Em yaldin et b'yama b'yom tov. You're not allowed to help, right, to take out the child, a fetus from an animal in Yom Tov, and all the more so on Shabbat, that means to give it birth. Aval misadin, but you help it give birth. And yaldin et isha, but you do it for a woman, a Shabbat and Kol Sheken and Yom Tov. Ekonin la chachaman, they get also mialedet, midwife, makom from one place to another place, even though it's outside of the tchum. Chalil le Shabbat, they're going to be mechalil Shabbat, v'koshin tibur. They're also going to tie. The tibur is the belly, the cord, right? That's connected to the belly button.
Umbilical.
The umbilical cord, yes. Rabbi Yosef says you're even allowed to cut it, right? And anything for a bring milah, you're allowed to do on Shabbat. So says the Gemara, how do you help an animal give birth on Shabbat and Yom Tov? Rav Yehuda says, ochezet avlad, you catch the child so it doesn't fall on the floor. Shli polaretz. Nachman says, dochek babasar, kadesh, you're allowed to push the flesh of the animal in order that the child will come out. So Tanya Kavatid Rav Yehuda, we learned in according to Rav Yehuda, kids was in ochzin avlad, you're allowed to catch it in order to shli polaretz, v'nofeach lo bechotmo. Or you're also allowed to blow inside of its nose in order to take out all these things in its nose that it can't breathe properly. And you also put inside of the mouth in order, that means basically we're going to put the child by the dadim of the animal in order that it could suckle, it could nurse from its mother. We are actually, menachamim, they do that in order that on Yom Tov, in order that it could actually suckle from its mother on Yom Tov. How do you do? Rabbi says, maybe bul. You bring like something of melach, of salt. They put it inside of the uterus. In order that it remembers its suffering. Right? And then then it's going to pour a lot of meh shiyah. So basically what we do is we purposely try to make that it has mercy on its child, and then it'll give it to eat. Okay? But that's only by a behemat tehorah. Behemat tme'ah, an impure animal, we don't do that. Why not? My tama. Tme'ah lo menachakav lada. A behemat tme'ah will never distance its child. If it does distance it, it will never bring it close again. Which is something incredible, just like to understand. Why is it that a behemat tehorah, a kosher animal, will distance its child, but not a non-kosher animal? I don't see anything here. I don't know. I guess it's something that sometimes just happens, that all of a sudden an animal will just want to distance its child. It just gave birth to it, but it doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So then what we do is we try to cause it to remember its pain and suffering, to have mercy on it, and then it will. Fine. You're allowed to help a woman give birth on Shabbat. So we already learned and we get the chachama, the mielede, from one place to another place. Chalil le'et Shabbat. We're going to be chalil the Shabbat. What is it coming to include? If she needs a candle, her friend could actually bring a lighter candle for her on Shabbat. If she needed oil, she brings oil, biyad, in her hand. If it's not enough in her hand, she could put it in her hair, and then she brings it. If it's not enough in her hair, she could bring it into a mamash, in a utensil on Shabbat. Amar Mor says, she could actually light a candle. Pshita, obviously. Says, right, we're talking about a suma, a blind woman. So I would have thought to say, since she can't see anyway, it's a sur. She's much more calm when there's a candle there, because she feels, because if there's something that she would see, her friend would do it for her. Even though she's blind. But the fact that there's light, she knows that her friend will take care of her if something happens. Okay? If she needs shemen, why don't we just learn this because of schita? So he says, right? Rabbi said there's no schita in the hair. Ravashi says, no. Even if there is schita in the hair, she could bring it with the hair. The kamad of shad, the shimshin, we're going to try to change as much as we can from doing it in the normal way. The Amar of Yudah Meshmuel says, Meshmuel chaya, kozman she'akever patuach, which is a chaya is a yoledet. As long as the kever is patuach, as long as the womb is open, Ben Amra, whether she says sicha, she needs to be mechalel Shabbat or not, we're going to be mechalel the Shabbat. Nistama kever, once it closes, Ben Amra, whether she says kufkaftet amud aleph, sicha ani ben lo amrat sicha ani, we're not going to be mechalel the Shabbat. And then we're going to go into when are we mechalel Shabbat for a yoledet or not for a yoledet. Okay? Have a wonderful day.